Hello my friends, my name is Szymon and I will be teaching you how to make simple, very basic Minetest mode. I hope that all background noises are cancelled enough and are not very disturbing. We have some renovation works all around. This is holiday season, so everyone and everywhere are getting their homes made, renovated, new walls, new doors, etc. Anyway, in previous episodes we learned how to make a basic node like this one that I'm holding. This is, at least in terms of texture, is very poor, but it simulates a nicely done texture of charcoal block. Also, I have done charcoal lamps or some parts of charcoal that can be used and crafted from blocks and other way, and can be used to make torches. And then we made some recipes to switch between blocks and items and use as torches and as a fuel. The next thing I want to do will be with new modification done based partially on this charcoal modification. It will involve all those fancy green stuff and that blue one and that or that not. Everything that is here, those flowers, mushrooms, grass and other basic stuff that can be grown here. So what do we need? For sure we need the game, we need a graphic editor or ready textures to get some basic graphics, and text editor, and I will use our previous mod which is accessible with our previous tutorials. I will copy all this stuff here and I will change its name to Flora. Okay, Flora, SK Flora, and I will edit here. I will throw out this charcoal textures from here and I will edit modconf and depends in the first throw. It will be SK Flora. This is basic plants with worldgen. Depends on the default, and new one dye, because we'll be using those plants to dye stuff. We have no optional depends here. Save, and in depends we need also add dye, but in new line. This is described how it works in previous tutorials, so if you don't know how that will go, you should watch those tutorials. It's not very long and it's very detailed. And the last thing we will need is, where is it? Here it is. We will need init.lua, but whole of this file will be thrown out. We don't need anything from this. We'll be making this from the scratch, and we'll be using some new descriptions here because plants are a little more complicated than items that we have done already. So for start, what we need: Minetest. We don't need anything for start. I will save this and get back, exit to menu from this. I will destroy course. Del, yes, new, another course, v7, why not create? Oh, that name is already used. So let's get Flora, create, select mods. I need unified inventory and I will need Flora here, but in difference from previous tutorials, in terms of worldgen mods, we can't just reload the game. We need to recreate whole world. So if we are messing with items that are generated on the start, we need fresh chunk of map to be loaded to check if that changes made sense and if they work at all. So this time we will not be just exiting to menu and starting game again. We will need to make whole game from the start, from the scratch. So I can save this, and as you know from that mods, there will be absolutely nothing here because init is empty. So let's program that init. I will make one plant for the start and describing what it is. Then I will make second plant to show you how it can be multiplied and more plants can be added. It will be using same template. So for example, we make one color of flower and then another color of plant, flower maybe or not flower, whatever. This is fantasy world. And then I will show you how to make this way easier to manage in terms of adding new plants, but that will have to be done with some basic programming functions. So it will not be just descriptions and templates from Minetest, and that will be new element for these tutorials. Okay, let's write some code. Minetest, as usual. I can hint you that this will be 3 times, because why not? And we will have register craft, this and this bracket, and we will have dot register decoration. This is new one, and another one, our most important one, is similar to that ones that we have already, register node, but this time details of this node will be different. So as usual, we want description that is more or less name of this item in the world. So let's call it Pinky Pinner Pin. Oh, let's leave this as Pinky Piner or Pinky Pinner, whatever. And oh yes, I forgot one thing here. It will be node name, because I've missed node name. It's SK Flora. It's same name as it used here in modconf, SK Flora, and name will be pin key. let's say Flora Pinky or Flora Pink. It will be very quite more clear what it is. Okay, this in the curvy brackets it will be more descriptions here. So description is name, then draw type, this is new one, it's plant like. I'm checking if I made some errors like spacing. Okay, draw type plant like, it will make it looking like grass, so it will be placed as X watching from top, one texture that is rotated in this way, and second the same texture which is rotated and crossed in the middle of block, and then it will be on rotated by 45 degrees, so it will look like on diagonals of top of node on which that will be placed. So that will work in this way. Then waving, it's a parameter about using waving animation. If this is one that it will be animated as wind is blowing over this. If it's waving, if this line is missing or there is 0 here, this item on the ground will not be animated. So for example, if you want some kind of young tree trunk, it rather will not wave on the wind, but tall grass or plants in most cases will be waving on the wind. So you can make some decorations that are not plants and sticking from the ground, like barbed wire or something like this, that will be not affected by wind, so that will have waving 0. Next, visual scale, it will stay as 1, but we can change this in the future. This is basically some kind of parameter that will make this bigger or smaller. We can't make it directly randomized with definition, but we can try to make this randomized in some variation using some function that will change this after loading this item. And then we'll have some flowers that are bigger and smaller in scale, but are still behaving exactly as the same. Scale of 1 is normal item, below 1 is smaller, and bigger than 1 is definitely bigger. I will show you how it works in the further part of this tutorial. Then known already for us, inventory image and name of graphic file, so Flora Pink PNG. Now it's good time to stop for a short while and make this texture. So let's start a GIMP and make this texture. New texture will be sized as 32 by 32. It's very beautiful texture, as you can see. I will add alpha channel because I want this to be transparent. Select Al, Ctrl A, del, and then we need some pink thing going on, so let's draw with smaller brush, much smaller brush. some kind of plant here. It's not very beautiful. It can have, let's say, red flowers on the top of those. Some strange plant, I suppose. Okay, and say export as. This is my main folder. Minetest mods. Where to find this exactly is also in earlier tutorials. So this, and we can name it from the start Flora Pink. Export. Yes, and we have now texture of Flora Pink, and this is Flora Pink texture here in the text file. Okay, next line. World image. This is new. It can also be used for any other graphics in the game. Inventory image is a file that will be displayed on the inventory bar and in opened equipment menu on those icons that are there. And world image is used to generate actual pseudo 3D image of item that you are holding in the hand. In some cases it can be exactly same item. In some cases it's better to have another image for inventory, so that option is available for us. Then, because it will be kind of node and not item, we need tiles for this. And in tiles we will use exactly same texture. Then if this is transparent textures, it would be nice that it will enable light to be shining through it. It can block or not. So this is sunlight propagate equals to 1, or better, true. If it propagates, so if it's on some rocks, then sun can shine through this item. Next, for this to work we need param type light. So it will be designed as to light enabled. Next, wall cable false. That means that it not blocks you to walk through this item. So it will be like grass, then you can walk through this item. If it's wall cable true, then you will get over this item and it will be more like solid block. So you can imagine that you have some, for example, spikes on ground, for example, and you can get on top of those short spikes, not exactly go through them, and that will be changed here. If you want to be some kind of sprite of ghost, then you need to have wall cable false. If you want to be solid and can be stamped on, it need to be true. Buildable 2, another new parameter, true. This can be tricky. If you want to place block on this, then it needs to be buildable too. Can I show you this? Yes, I think I can show you this. but I need a new game. I don't want this. Save and play game, please. I will show you this very easily. Okay, we have here, I will go a little deeper into this forest. I'm looking for one particular item in this forest. All shrooms are walkable. Fells, all grass is walkable, fells. But I want some tree roots here. I have most of mods disabled, so that will be harder to show you. Yes, everything is walkable. What is buildable? If I have some kind of blocks here, let's use those bricks or leaves. Oh. Wood is also good. I can build here and I can build here. It make that grass to disappear and will not break anything. I can build above this. I cannot. Also, I can build over this, and I can build over this. If it would be, I open another exit way. I open my this with to Dell Minetest gameplay. I have more mods here, and this will be better visible on this map to be shown exactly what that means. Unfortunately, it loads for a while, so I'll change here and we'll be getting back to this. Stack max is another parameter that we already know, how many items can be put on single inventory square, so you can stack it this plants for 99. Then is ground content, it needs to be described as true if it's generated with world edit. And then groups long one, it's how it's generated and if it's available also for another groups to be generated. So snappy, fast, flammable, yes, of course. Attached node need to be one. Flower, it is flower, and flora, yes. Flower will make it useful as some recipes need to have flowers, and flora is describing that it's for world generator, which will be used in the moment. I hope I didn't make any mistakes here. Let's get back to game for a short while. Fly mode. Here I have grass and tree trunks, high plants, or even better, I will find exactly tree, which is here. Here we have some grass, and here we have some transparent item of roots of this tree, and those roots are not buildable into. Also, this part of this tree is not buildable into. So if I want to place here something like this sand, it will drop over, but I can't place it here. It will not allow me to place it here. Also, some shrooms are placeable onto, and some other stuff is not placeable onto. So this tree trunk will not be covered. I cannot place node here. I can't place on the grass. I can place it on the grass here, but I can't place it on this. To show it even more, it disappears because of gravity and not because I placed this here. Also, we can have 3D models for this, and those are also not placeable. You cannot build onto this. Okay, let's get back to our mod. This is buildable too. If it's true, you can build in exact place of this. Of course, you will lose all items dropped by that. So, for example, you can have some seeds from grass from time to time if you destroy grass manually, and if you build into grass, it will not happen. You will not have any item from that, even that item. So keep in mind for this. Another register decoration. It's directly connected to making world generation of this. This is new stuff for us. Deco type is simple. Different decoration types defines how it will be generated. Is it that flat surface on one side of node or bottom side of node, or if it's this plant-like or fire-like, which is a box of textures. So there is a few types of drawing this decoration. All are described in Minecraft modding book. There is another chapter for this, and you should go there to check that. Now, place on. This is probably most important thing in world generator, and it can be list of items. Here we are placing information that if this item, exactly this SK Flora pink, will be involved in world generation, then it will be generated only above and directly above blocks of type that is described in place on. So for example, we can use default grass, dirt with grass, and that makes that this pink flora will be placed only on these blocks. If we put here like default sand or default gravel, then it will be placed only on those until we get from this another type of blocks. So we can define in this that we have some plants that are growing only on beach, so they need sand, or on beach sand, or if it grows only on desert, then it will be default sand, or in temperate that is dirt with grass. Another side len 16 is default length in pixels of these blocks. Fill ratio is 1 above rarity, which defines how often it will be generated in world. 1000 is more or less reasonable number. It's not too scarce and not too packed with. And decoration is defining what item will be placed and this is our item. So let's put flora pink with size more or less of 16 pixels, with fill ratio of this, with this sides only on this nodes or blocks. And register craft is our greatly known output and recipe. With output we want, for example, that is because we registered dice, die pink, this is one, and recipe, it's double bracket, and we'll use flora pink. We have pink? Yes, we have pink. So this makes that we get one pink dye from one pink flower. Let's save and let's hope that this will work. New world, flora 2, create, select mods flora, and we want from Dream Builder this inventory mode. This is unified inventory. Okay, save, and let's hope that will not break anything. We don't have charcoal loaded here. Okay, yay, we have our pink flower. If we look from the top, it is that X that I mentioned. It's crossing itself exactly in middle of texture, so texture is object array. What is broken here? Which mod? Free the armor character. It does not matter for us. Okay, that's not our mod that is broken. This is our flower that is placed here. It's not grant me all. I want to fly some more. Oh, grant me all. I want to fly and find another flower of this. Here it's another and another, so it's definitely here, and it's definitely on dirt with grass, and it's quite often rendered here. Let's go there. There is some more space which we can get and look how often it's going. So it's not very often, but enough to be findable, and if it's actually plant decoration, it can be visible here without any further problems. It's very simple. There are areas that is generated a little more, and some areas that's not generated at all, so it's quite natural flow for this. Okay, this part is done. I will shut down this and shut down this completely. And now, as we have all of this, what do we need to make another plant? We need to copy all of that, each and every part of this. So another plant will be here. We can choose to copy whole set of this, and let's say this flower 2, and this will be commented as flower 1, so you know where to look and what to look. Flora pink, let's make flora yellow, magenta, it's almost in yellow. Flora yellow, yellowish yellow, plant like, Flora yellow, it's as name of texture. I will make this in 3 parts this time. Flora yellow 1, Flora yellow 2 and Flora yellow 3. Then you will see what it's how it changes in inventory, in welding image and in tiles. Then we need also on grass, it will be Flora yellow and here will be Flora yellow. Save this. This is our plant. I will select all del and I will now make yellowish or green. Let's make green stem and one stem only. It will be here, and now we need those yellow flower on top, and this will be single, and I will export this as yellow one. Export. Then I will make here another 2 yellow dots, and I will export this as yellow 2. And third one will be that kind of flower, and let's make this also with red middle. It will be interesting flower, and this will be export as yellow 3. Okay, now we can launch the game. New map, Flora number 3, create, select mods, unified inventory and our SK Flora, save and play. Now we'll have some pink and yellow flowers. Grant me all. Fly mode enabled, and we'll fly already into those hills area. Then we can get our flower number 1 and flower number 2. Fly mode disabled. We have our flower. I can pick it up. There is another. Let's get this pink one also, and this one. And now we have in inventory our yellow flower is image 1. This is available to make pink dye. This is available to make I've not changed, my mistake, it's not this file. I don't change this to yellow. It's easy to fix, but this will work after restarting game only, so that does not matter as much. And let's get back to game. So you can see that in inventory it's different image that it is generated to be welded, but in this settings we have we don't use weld image because it's generated as 3D and not 2D. We could change that in settings. Unfortunately that needs game to be restarted, and we can do that. So if I go to settings, I can change in advanced settings some graphics, and I need to find where it will be. if I find this, because it's not such easy and I don't remember exactly how it's called. Smooth lighting, cloud scent, and not highlighting, box dragging particles. I don't remember where it is, but it is about 3D items. Let's try this form, 3D clothes only. And map game. It does not matter as much. It's supposed so. Does not matter. Let's get back into game. I fixed that recipe of this flower, so we have now yellow dye from this. Okay, there is one more thing to do, and that is making all of those plant generation easier to handle for us. And I will exit from this, and that will need also new game. So let's get back to editing. Where is my text editor? And I will make another flowers from the start. So I will leave those two and I will make those two repeated as another flowers. So I will use only those textures that we have to generate them. So you can change that later. Okay, we're in the text editor, and now I will make a function to get all of this flower inside generator. So I'm copying this and I will start writing here some magic from Lua language. This is local function register skfauna, and with parameters of name, description, rarity, and output. And size, I can get also size. Okay, this defines a function, and now everything below this needs to be one more. Because functions in Lua interpret this in this way. This is also for us to be code easier seen, and end of this function is here. So now this is one thing that we need to add. This is not used yet. I can use those with spaces or without. With spaces looks nicer, but that does not matter. Now, another thing I need to do is define some kind of name, which will be in our term skflora list equals bracket. Similar term to usable in tiles or in groups or in a recipe. skflora list, and this starts here and ends somewhere there. And now main definition, it will be also another brackets, and each line of this will be new flower description for us, and this will be what I miss? No, this will be in another line. We can put this in single line or multiple lines, but in multiple lines will be easier for us to maintain. And here I want 4 things to be inputted, 5 actually. I will pass here temporarily, and we'll make those 4 to have our example. What is name? I will copy this from this. This is our yellow flower. Name is this part. This is flora yellow, and it will be in quotes as this is a string. Same as description. I'm copying this description here. Rarity is pure number, so it does not need to be in this form. Let's make this nicer. Output, size. Okay, rarity here is 1000. Outputs dye yellow, and size is 1. So this is basically copy of this, but how we'll make it to work? We need to change some parts of this function area into actual name, description, rarity, output, and size definitions. So I will use name here in place of this flora yellow. Okay, but how this will work? It will register just SK flora as name. So we need to end quote before name and glue name parameter into actual string. This is done with those 2 dots. I will put description in place of this quote here. I will put another name in place of those names in textures, but I will also need to glue this, so I need to end quote and glue, then glue again and new quote. So this will make this texture use part of name in its name, in file name, also in here and in here. So right now we register parts of flora node using same name as is used in file name, so that will make our flora yellow file. This will double this, so let's erase this, and that will be easier for us to maintain. So file name will be as item name with dots, but probably would be better to make this in some form like this to maintain with different modifications. So it would be skflora underscore and then registered name as flora yellow. That will need to be edited here, and I will make this in a moment. So that will be way better to use in this form, and we will use all 3 names of those textures here. So let's copy this files and make this SK flora pink SK Flora Yellow 1, SK Flora Yellow 2, SK Flora Yellow 3 as texture names, and we will use this in the moment here. Then we will use rarity not 1/1000 but 1 rarity name. Then we'll use this value in here, and another name needs to be added and glued for this part, so this needs to go in this form. SK Flora name. I can add comma here and comma here and comma here just to be concise. And here output item is this, and another name tag will be put here. So this make that function working. I will remove those three and copy this here. This is yellow. We have yellow. We have 1, 2, 3. So let's make this 1, 2, 3. Yellowish yellow small, big, and size of this will be 0.5 and this will be 1.5. And last one is Flora Pink with name of Pinky Pioneer. (1000) dye pink and size of 1. So I can remove all of those. This is not longer needed. And now, as you can see, we have less code that were used to generate 2 plants, and now we have those code that will generate 4 different plants, and that takes less place than any other. If you want to add another stuff here, it's no problem. For example, you can add here stack and change here stack and add here information about stack, just to remember what number means what. You should also add here some description what is what, but it is described here if you used correct names. So let's save this, but that will not yet work. That will not work yet. It needs one more line that will marry these descriptions with those with this function, because right now it's only described. This is function is defined and variables are described here, but we need to make this function running, and this will need to use this list of items and parse it into smaller chunks, in this case 4 chunks, and parse those into this function. And this is line this: for each item in pairs from SK Flora list, do function register SK Fauna and unpack those packet as item. So get all as item from SK Flora list and register with unpacked item. And this is end of function. And now if I save this, we can hope that this will work. Fauna, another number, whatever it is. Select mods, dream builder, unified inventory and flora. Save, play. Let's hope this will work. Of course I want grant all, and I hate rain. Yo, let's go to the plains, mountains, hills, and we are looking for our flowers. We have pink flower here. Let's grab this. We have one kind of yellow flower here, and we have another kind of yellow flower here, and we are looking for third. Oh, there is third. Here it is, third kind of flower. So flower 1, big flower, yellow, flower small. Pam, 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 pam. It looks exactly same for me. Let's exit this game and remove this. Yes, please. And now let's make all of those textures. How can we change this? We can change this very easily. We can add texture on the end of this, and we'll use texture, not name here, because we need unique name registered here. So we need also to add this name here, and I will use in each of those cases flora yellow free this time. Bam, 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 and I will use flora pink in this one. So this will be registered as 3 different flowers, but they will look the same, and there will only be differ with size. I didn't use size as okay. That is size. Visual scale is size, not 1, and now it will work. But because I have all 3 flowers here described as same flower, it will be way more visible in the game. So let's make another flora, this game and mods with Dream Builder inventory, and our plants play game. And that will be all for this episode, probably. Smaller rain, yay! I want flying mod. Fast travel is enabled, and as previously I'm looking for 3 different flowers. This is flower number 1, this is flower number 2, and this is flower number 3. No, this is flower number 3. Okay, we have 3 identically looking flowers with different names, but this is flower small, this is flower normal, and this is flower huge. This is scale 0.5, this is scale 1.0, and this is scale 1.5. Same texture, and all other parameters of those 3 flowers except name and size. So you can see that this flower is getting bigger, and that means also that texture should be a little bigger. And if you look closely, I will dig this up. I need to fall here. Oh, that's not enough. This flower is bigger than its selection box, and that flower is way smaller than its selection box. So keep in mind that all sizes above 1.0 will grow a little bit or exceeding their box. It's sometimes good and sometimes not as good. So 3 different flowers added, and we can get also our 4th flower to complete this set. Oh, my mistake. Let's plant over, or maybe here. And we have our basically magic flowers here. So this is what it works. This is how it works, and this is how you can add tons of new flowers. And like I've said, you can change this about how and where it grows. You can get stone and get some moss over it, or you can get some dead or dried shrubs to grow, to be generated only on sand, or maybe fire plant or something that will be burning, or you can get something that is sticking over trees and exactly 3 leaves. You can define this as group name, so above each 3 leaf, or to be specific and use specific 3 leaf. So for example, this is birch 3 leaves. If I get this and get this, the one is maple leaf and second is apple 3 leaves. It's different name in terms of item name, but it's same group as plant part. You can get some other dirt types and other stuff here. You can even make something like this. In some cases you will have, for example, coal that is on top of something, like this case, and you can generate plant that will be generated sometimes only on those blocks. So if coal is inside this wall, so like this, those 2, it will not grow because there is something. But if it's on top and there is air above it, it could be placed something there. So you can imagine any plant that will grow only on coal that is exposed to air. Or you can make some floating over water plants, or make practically anything you want. You can even try to make something went down here or exploded. Messe. Yay. Or some kind of ice? No. Randomly generated stuff like, oh, here it should be water, but it's not. It's because of that. We have messed water level with tutorial video earlier, so feel free to experiment with those and go to Minecraft modding book to get some more information. One of the easiest mod to do this, another something explode, I heard. One of the easiest mod to make is make some flower mod with 16 different flower colors that generate flowers over world, mostly over grass, but not exactly. And in that way you have access to all kind of dyes to dye stuff. and you can have also some plants that will generate strings that can be made into wool or bow or fishing pole or even bed. Not exactly directly, but it's still possible. So feel free to do that, and that's all for this episode. So I plan to make another one about using farming stuff and plants, especially dedicated to plant stuff. So you need to have hoe, but I need to first repair this game to get back my water level, because water will be needed to that farming stuff. So this is all for now. Subscribe to not miss any other episodes. Goodbye.